Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Daily Fix. I am your usual host and presenter, Advocate Tumelo Matlala. Starting today, like I indicated yesterday, we are only going to have one edition of the Daily Fix, which is going to come at this time. So let us get into the business of the day. You know, some of us are in this business of running YouTube channels, not to make money. Let me make it very clear. Some of us are motivated by the truth and justice. I am motivated by the truth and justice as an advocate, not only in the sense of Meyiwa trial, but in all other matters around issues of law and justice in South Africa. So let me give you a good example of what I'm trying to talk about. There is news going around that Tumelo Matlala, you'll recall that Tumelo Matlala was very close to Senzo. He was a very close friend of Senzo Meyiwa. There is news circulating on social media that Tumelo Matlala has confessed about what really happened on that fateful day in that house. This is how the fake news goes. The fake news goes that Tumelo Matlala explains that there were no intruders into that house and that Senzo was shot by mistake by Kelly Kumalo. On the face of it, you could say explosive news. But fake news can never be news. I want to be very clear about that. I have said in my opening address to you that running a YouTube channel is not just about news and views. And let me be honest with you. While admittedly it is about getting views, it is about getting subscriptions, it is about monetizing these channels and eventually getting some income out of the work that we do. But I think respect for our viewers comes first. Because if we are going to be out to peddle lies, unsubstantiated lies, the only thing that can happen is we are going to lose credibility with our viewers. Our viewers are going to start calling us liars and all those, undesirable descriptions. But in a sense, if we peddle fake news, I think we deserve it in a way. And in any event, peddling false news is self-defeating because with time, the viewers will just turn away. Let me talk about myself. Without getting into the specifics of past videos, I have realized that here and there, I have been a victim of this fake news. You see, once you run a YouTube channel, there are other people out there with their own motives who will approach you and purport to give you news. So sometimes in the process of building your channel, you might fall into the trap of grabbing those news and publishing those news. But let me reiterate, I am an advocate and I've got to be a professional and ethical person. If fake news is going to bring in views and subscriptions. I would rather do without such views and subscriptions because my respect for my viewers comes first. My credibility as an advocate comes second. Those are the two most important things that I want to emphasize this morning. For instance, let us look at this fake news doing the rounds on social media that Tumelo Matlala has confessed. It becomes startling news because on the face of it, Tumelo Matlala was a very close friend of Senzo. We know the testimony of Tumelo Matlala in that trial. It was a shocking testimony. A lot of people had expected that the last thing that Tumelo Matlala would do was to testify the way he testified. Because we don't believe in the narrative of 636. Some of us had hoped that Tumelo Matlala, being such a close friend of Senzo, would be one of those people who would be motivated to come forward to tell us what really happened in that house on that fateful day. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Tumelo Matlala, for reasons best known to him, and the prosecutors and the investigators, Gininda and Baloi, decided to testify along the lines of their having been intruders into that house. In my own view, what a betrayal of Senzo Meyiwa. Now, these fake news, which are doing the rounds on social media, in any event are of no consequence. Because Tumelo Matlala has already testified in court that there were intruders into that house, two intruders who were out to rob the people in the house of their cell phones, and that those intruders, or one of those intruders, ended up in a scuffle with Senzo and ended up shooting Senzo fatally. That is the testimony of Tumelo Matlala. Now, this fake news, which comes in the form of, Tumelo Matlala now confessing about something else which he did not testify about in court, is of no consequence. But because Tumelo Matlala is on record as saying there were intruders into that house. Even if we're to believe this fake news, and there's no reason why we should believe fake news, of what use is this so-called confession by Tumelo Matlala be, in the light of the fact that he has already testified in court that there were intruders into that house? So I will not bother you with those news that somebody approached me yesterday about this news, thinking that I would publish this news. But I said to him, for everything going forward that I'm going to publish on this YouTube channel, out of respect for my viewers, out of respect for myself, and for the sake of, being dignified and my own credibility as an individual, I will not publish such news. Because the one thing that I asked him was, this source is dubious. We don't even know, how much he was paid, if he was paid for this confession, where this news comes from. These are just faceless sources. Let me confess that I've had faceless sources on this channel who have assured me that for security reasons, please don't disclose my name, my location, and so on. And I did that. But I did that on one condition, that I'll be coming back to these people for verification. And you know what happens? Once the fake news have been published and you go back to these sources for verification, you find that they will dilly-dally, evade you, because in all honesty, there is no such verification. Because something which is fake, something which is a lie, cannot be verified. So, out of respect for you as my viewers, I will not in future provide you with news which are unverified and untraceable. Right now, that link which this gentleman provided is inaccessible. In other words, I cannot go into that link, read what is there. It is just inaccessible. Just to give an indication that it was something that was just put out there so that those who are gullible and looking for viewers and subscribers can go for it. But the consequences can be dire. You all know that a lie will never last. Lying has never helped anybody. So in future, when I bring you news, I'll make sure that those news have some verification. There is an identifiable source. I will not bring you news which is unverified. So this Tumelo Matlala and the so-called confession that he has made is of no consequence. It is, in short, or to put it bluntly, a blue lie intended. I don't know what the intention is, but it is intended perhaps to confuse. And you see, this is serious business that we are in. This is the life of Senzo Meyiwa we are involved in. There are relatives of the Meyiwa family that you must consider. And you can imagine how painful it can be for them to see all these lies being peddled all over the place just because people perhaps are looking for views and subscriptions. How tragic. So I'll endeavor, like I've always endeavored. But I'll admit I've fallen victim to this myself also, so that those who fall victim to it must be warned. Fake news is unsustainable. Not unless, of course, you peddle fake news deliberately, hoping to get views and subscriptions. But that is not my approach. I want people to respect me, and I want to respect people. And before people respect me, I must first of all respect them. You'll also recall that on this channel, I provide a free legal service. Close to 200 people now have benefited since I launched that campaign to provide a free legal service from that service. Please continue to use this service wherever you are in South Africa, from Cape Town to Musina, and I'll provide it. The WhatsApp number is 063 640 4329. You can contact me on my WhatsApp and I'll solve those problems. I am an advocate first and a YouTube blogger second. But I will not compromise my dignity and my credibility in society just to get views and subscriptions. Having said that, let me thank you for the subscriptions that I'm seeing and the views that I'm seeing. Please continue to watch this channel. If I've been offensive in the past, in the sense that I have fallen victim to those fake news, I sincerely apologize. But going forward, please continue to subscribe and don't skip those adverts. Those adverts bring in some income for us and a little income for that matter. But please don't skip those adverts. Thank you and have a nice day.